Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Juan Beltran here for Dunk Time. If you've already have not followed us on YouTube and Facebook, make sure to give us a like or follow us. We load up cool content every single day. Tonight, big in-state rivalry here in California: Lakers versus Kings. The Sacramento Kings. Last time they played the Lakers, practically destroyed. Sacramento beat the Lakers. I'm sorry, in a triple overtime game. Sacramento came out victorious. Sacramento more than likely will not make the playoffs. They're 12th in the West. They've lost 5 games in a row so far. As for the Lakers, they're 7th in the Western Conference, struggling to keep up in pace. The Lakers are another team that at one point we thought they were championship contenders. That was the entire talk leading into this offseason and the beginning of the regular season. As we know already, it's no secret, it's no story. It's like I'm beating the same story over and over again. Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, but all those offseason signings are not panning out, no matter what the Lakers try, and injuries keep stacking up against this team. Which, to be quite honest, it's hurt the Lakers so much that they have no identity so far this season. And I mean, we're in January, mid-January already. Believe it or not, 2 weeks ago, we were telling everybody Happy New Year and putting our New Year's resolutions. And now, uh, we're in mid January, but the Lakers are who they are. They're facing a Kings team that is struggling. And every time I watch the Kings play the Lakers, all I can think about is the what if thing. What do I mean by that? Yes. What if the Lakers would have signed Buddy Hield instead of Russell Westbrook? Buddy Hield is more efficient. He doesn't turn the ball over, and he gives you what you need. He's a spot on shooter. He can hit the 3 point shot, jump shot, and he's more efficient compared to Russell Westbrook. But at the end of the day, this is all on LeBron James. He's the one that wanted Russell Westbrook with the Lakers. Again, that is no secret. So this one's all on him. This roster is pretty much older. The Lakers are playing with a much older roster. In a way, it looks like LeBron James looks like those Cleveland days when he just had to do everything by himself just to get the Cavaliers the win. Here is the complete opposite. There's times that it doesn't matter what LeBron James does, the Lakers still lose the games numerous times. And I'm not talking about losing to the Warriors, the Suns, the Grizzlies, or the Jazz, who are top four teams in the Western Conference. I'm talking about losses against the Kings, losses against teams that they're not supposed to lose to, like Oklahoma City. So this game again, if I would have looked at the schedule early October and I would have gone and penciled in every game against the Kings, I would have had the Lakers winning at least 3 games. Now, every time you see a Laker game, all you think about is the Lakers are not the team to beat. Their opposing team they're facing is the team to beat. They're not the hunter. They're the ones being hunted now. So a lot of it has to do with the way the Lakers are playing. And again, you got LeBron James playing the five. You got him playing center, and then you got him going down court. Sometimes bringing the ball up. So at 37 years old, how much longer can LeBron James keep doing that? Obviously, he's doing it at an MVP level. Obviously, he's carrying these Lakers. He even had him with a winning streak, winning 5 in a row earlier this month. But again, how long are his legs going to last? How long is his body going to last? Remember, the previous 2 seasons, LeBron James has gotten injured, and that's been a big reason why the Lakers either did not make the playoffs or they were knocked out in the first round against the Phoenix Suns. As opposed to the Kings, they have nothing to lose. They have not been to the playoffs in quite some time, and in a way, they've drafted guys like De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, and it is sad to see them. I don't want to say their careers are going to waste in Sacramento, but in a way, you would love to see guys like that, thrive in a different setting, in a different role, or just simply a different team where they can be successful. But at the end of the day, that's out of my hands, that's out of our hands, or anybody else's hands. That's on a team GM's hand to see if they can move those guys around. But one interesting thing is that the NBA trade deadline is next month. The big question is, what are the Lakers going to do? Are you going to trade Anthony Davis, who, by the way, he was supposed to be the guy who took over this team? LeBron James is aging, but again, he's playing at a high level all throughout his career. His numbers had not dropped at all. He's been consistent, you know, since he came in the league straight out of high school. But Anthony Davis was supposed to be that guy that took over the Lakers team. This was supposed to be his team. This was supposed to be his guys. But he's injury prone. He's missed over 100 games in the last 2 seasons. So that goes to tell you, Anthony Davis is not the guy that the Lakers should depend on to build on in the future. So he's probably one of the guys that can possibly get traded. Now, on the other hand, people mention Russell Westbrook. But Russell Westbrook has such a massive contract that he got in Oklahoma City three seasons ago. That what team wants to take over that contract and just tank their team like that? That's such a bad contract that who knows who is going to want to take it. The Lakers would basically have already given away part of their future to get Russell Westbrook, and before that to get Anthony Davis, and to add role players around this Lakers team and LeBron James. That how much more will the Lakers have to give up in order if they want to get rid of Anthony Davis or Russell Westbrook? And I'm sure many teams would be glad to take in somebody like Anthony Davis. He is a superstar. When he is healthy, he's shown you year in and year out what he can do. But again, his biggest problem is he cannot stay healthy when he is on the floor. And Russell Westbrook, he is who he is. Yeah, he's had a couple of games this season where he hasn't had any turnovers, but at the end of the day, he's a terrible shooter. He's bad on the court, jumpers, 3-point shots. He's missed point blank layups at times. It's just you got to question it. What are the Lakers going to do? Because at this point, it does not matter what you've done all season. It's not working. It's simply not working. LeBron James is all over the court. And the question is, if they play LeBron James this much, how will he go into the playoffs? Will he be able to last his pace? Will he be able to play at the same rate? Because remember, the playoffs are 7 games away and at home. The Lakers are not going to have home court advantage. We already know the case. If they end up playing, hypothetically, Golden State's already good, and they just got Klay Thompson back. You go to Phoenix, they are playing perfect with Chris Paul running that team, Devin Booker, Jay Crowder. They're just everybody's gelling. Whoever's supposed to be gelling is gelling at the right time. I think, even Memphis, who has a very, very young team, and you add Steven Adams into that mix, I just cannot see the Lakers knocking them out in 4 games. I mean, the Grizzlies will put up a fight. They're a young team. They're inexperienced, as opposed to the Lakers, who have championship pedigree with LeBron James, who's been to multiple NBA finals. He's won multiple NBA titles. Anthony Davis has also won a championship. But remember, that championship Anthony Davis won, the Lakers played it in the NBA bubble, and there was no pressure. So there was no fans. You played in a bubble, but you got a guy like Trevor Ariza, who was part of the championship team with Kobe Bryant, where he won his one and only title. But again, he's an aging player. He does have deep playoff experience from his days when he played with the Rockets, when the Rockets had those great runs a few years back, making it all the way to the Western Conference Finals. And remember, they had that 3-2 lead over the Golden State Warriors, but they were knocked out in Game 7 at home at Toyota Center in 2018. So again, the Lakers are just an aging team. And at 21-20, 7-9 on the road. The Kings are 16-27. They're 10-14 at home. Last time they played in Sacramento, the Lakers did win that game, but it was still relatively close. Here's the problem with the Lakers. They just play a lot of close games. If the Lakers have a lead, the Lakers depend on LeBron James. If LeBron James goes out of the game, that lead, it either squanders away, or they come back and they're down 10. Or if they're down 10 and LeBron James goes to the bench for a quick breather, That's a 17-point lead. The Lakers still haven't figured out a way in order to play together, keep a lead, or simply get themselves back in the game without LeBron James. LeBron is the one who carries this team and has been carrying this team so far this season, but the man can only do so much. I mean, I know he's the king. I know he's the top three player in the league, but at the age of 35 plus years old, that gas is eventually going to run out. And who knows, if it runs out towards the end of the season, and then, you get Anthony Davis back, but he's not 100%, and you're going to have to depend on Russell Westbrook. We already know what Russell Westbrook did in Oklahoma City during those playoff runs. They were always out in the first round. Him getting them past the first round, it was nearly impossible because it was Russ against the world. And yes, Russell Westbrook will fight tooth and nail all the way the entire game. But at the end of the game, or at the end of the day, when you got to lock down on Russell Westbrook, you're just going to let him shoot because he is not a high efficiency shooter. And at the end of the day, he is not the right guy to lead your team. So I think now the Lakers really have to think about their future. I'm not saying tank. I'm not saying close it down. I'm not saying the Lakers should just quit because they're not. Jeannie Buss is not going to let the Lakers quit. The Lakers have too much pride. 17 championships, so they're going to keep playing. But again, I think this has been mentioned everywhere. This team does not have the championship pedigree, or they have the championship hunger that teams have, as opposed to a Golden State out in the Western Conference or a Milwaukee out in the Eastern Conference that they're still hungry. Giannis is still hungry. His supporting cast knows what their role is, as opposed to the Lakers. There's times that Malik Monk, he'll shoot you out of games, but he'll defend well, or he'll shoot well, but he won't defend well. So you're not getting the full 100% from every guy. Trevor Ariza just came back to the Lakers last week and played his first game after being out the first quarter or the first half of the season. And obviously the first half of the season is marked at the NBA All-Star break. So let's say he was out the first quarter of the season. So you still don't know what he's going to give you. He's going to play defense, but remember, Trevor is in his high 30s already. And then you got Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard will show up. He will play. But, I think the Lakers are playing much better with a smaller lineup, with LeBron at the 5. But again, aging LeBron leading into the last part of the season, hopefully he doesn't get injured. Because, again, that has been an issue the past 2 seasons. And, you want to keep your main player or your star player as healthy as possible. And another problem that sometimes you see with the Lakers is LeBron is, he's dishing the ball out. He's getting everybody going in the game. But guys sometimes don't shoot the ball well. And then it's up to LeBron to get the guys back. And by that time, a lot of times it's already too late. But the Lakers do have a bright point. The rookie out of Kansas, or he's from the state of Kansas, Austin. I blanked out of his last name right now, but he is one bright spot the Lakers have so far this season. He plays offense, he plays defense. He hustles on the court. He is what the Lakers, a solid piece or a bright spot that the Lakers have been needing so far this season. Remember, he is the guy who basically, if it wasn't for his 3-point shot, they would not have won in Dallas earlier in December. So, the Lakers do have some positives, but the negative outweighs the good. And, it's just hard to find something positive in this team when you just feel like everything, trends negative. And I'm not here to be a Debbie Downer. I'm not here to, to just pile on the Lakers. So far this season, LeBron James is scoring 28 points per game. Westbrook leads in rebounds. He leads in assists. And the funny thing is, despite the losses, Russell Westbrook is still getting his triple doubles, which a lot of times it goes to question, he's getting triple doubles, but the Lakers are not winning. And it sort of takes you back to the Oklahoma City days when, Russell Westbrook would get his triple doubles, but many of the times they just weren't efficient triple doubles. As for the Kings, De'Aaron Fox leads the Kings with 20 points per game. Harrison Barnes, I don't know if that name rings a bell. He won a championship with the Golden State Warriors in that first title. He is their leading rebounder at 6 rebounds per game. And Halliburton leads the Kings in assists, averaging just about 6 assists per game. The Lakers are a favorite to win this game, but believe it or not, they are a favorite by 50.1%. What does that mean? It means that the Kings have a shot at 49.9% to win this game. That just goes to show you that a team who is at the bottom of the Western Conference has a shot against the Lakers, who are seventh in the West. They're still in playoff contention. The Kings are 12th. Maybe the Kings go on a run and they end up getting into the play-in game for the NBA playoff, for the last seed. But it seems to me a lot of times when you watch this Lakers team play, they're playing more for a playing seed and not a top seed for the NBA playoffs. Again, Lakers versus Kings tonight in Sacramento. Lakers are on the road, and this is a very this game means a lot because it's an in-state rivalry game. Anytime you have an in-state rivalry game, it does not matter if a team's good, if a team's bad. Teams are going to come out and play for pride, to play for their city, and bragging rights. I hate to go so far back in time. Those great Laker rivalries in the early 2000s against the Kings. Kobe, Shaq, Chris Webber, Bloody Divac. That's what I think when you talk about Lakers Kings, intense rivalries and those playoff rivalries. Way back in the day when Robert Horry hit the 3-pointer to send the Lakers to the NBA Finals. But this is a new era. LeBron James, Russell Westbrook, Carmelo Anthony, and Anthony Davis, who of course is not playing tonight against the Sacramento Kings due to injuries, but he is expected to return mid-February if he is 100% into this game. So, yeah, Lakers versus Kings tonight. That game should have tipped off about 10 minutes ago. The Kings have gone 4-6 this season against their division rivals. The Lakers are 8-9 when it comes to games to decide. So, again, it goes back to what I repeated earlier, what I said earlier. The Lakers are not that good when it comes to close games so far this season, and they cannot keep a lead. But obviously, the Lakers are favored by 0.1%. Before we let you guys go, Dunk Time, this cool project we've started. If you still have not followed us or spread the word, be sure to let the world know. We load up cool content every single day, basketball content, whether it's from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, the early 2000s, the 10s, and now the 20s. I know it sounds weird to say. We find the coolest scoops, the coolest stories that stories that you probably never heard of. We dig, and find them. So we post them up. So be sure to share the stories. Be sure to like them. Be sure to comment. If there's anything we can do, be sure to let us know because we'd be more than happy. We want to listen to you guys. We want to know what you guys want because we're here for you. This content is for you guys whenever you guys are bored, whenever you're in traffic, whenever you're at the office and you just need something to listen to. That's who we make the content for. And everybody, you want to learn something new? I am sure if you go through our videos, you will learn something new, whether it's from the past or the present or a current legend or a former legend. That's what we're here for. We're here to make cool content for you guys. So be sure, like us on Facebook, Dunk Time, DUNK Time, TIME. Just 2 words, Dunk Time. So, of course, let us know what you like, what you want to see from our part, because we're here for you guys. That game just tipped off, actually, the Lakers versus Kings. It's still 2-2 earlier at the beginning of the first quarter. But again, be sure to follow us. Be sure to like us. The Lakers are a 0.1 favorite to win this game tonight. Okay, really quickly before I leave, Lakers win tonight by 7. They're not even going to win by double digits. 7-point victory by the Lakers. They give up 100 points. It's going to be 102-109. Lakers win. It's going to be a close one, but the Lakers are going to find a way to pull it out, and they need to pull it out if they want to stay in race for the Western Conference and keep moving up, as the Lakers at least should try to finish anywhere between 5th and 4th, because I just cannot see them catching Phoenix Suns, Golden State, or even the Memphis Grizzlies, who have won 10 straight games so far this season. They are the hottest team right now in the NBA, all thanks to Ja Morant. He moves, or the Grizzlies move at the pace that Ja Morant moves. So, yeah, again, guys, be sure to like us. Be sure to follow us on social media and be sure to share our content. We'll be doing more lives like this in the next few days, in the next few weeks. So we want to hear more from you and we want to see you guys. So be sure to comment, be sure to like us. We're here for you guys. All right, enjoy the games and enjoy the rest of the slate of NBA games tonight. Obviously, we'll be loading up cool content tomorrow and Friday in regards to NBA stuff. Take care.